A lot of folks will tell you the game can be coached, but it also has to be taught. David Harlow is one of the better teachers around from what I hear. He is the offensive line coach at Jefferson Forest. He's under JT Cruz. Coach Harlow and I talked last week at a local eating establishment. Somebody even came up and said, "Do you have a podcast?" That must be because I had a microphone attached to a superstar, Mr. David Harlow. Coach Harlow talks about the Liberty Days and much more right here on the Sports Buffet podcast. Talking to David Harlow. He is the assistant who is praised and praised and praised by JT Cruz and a lot of other people. What got you into a love of football?
Again, I'd say just growing up around the game. And as far as coaching goes, as far as getting into coaching, I think a lot had to do with my high school coach, Chris Watts, and our staff that we had there. And we had a lot of success, and I felt like Coach went about things the right way. I had a lot of respect for him and the way that he handled things, and just kind of wanted to follow in those footsteps and kind of be what he was for me, for the kids that I coached throughout my career and throughout my time coaching.
Now, did little David go to Liberty High School games?
Yes, sir. Yeah, so I was born in Lynchburg, grew up in Bedford, and from about 5th or 6th grade on, I was Bedford County student, Liberty's own student. Kind of grew up through the glory days, I guess, Liberty High School and early 2000s. And so the transition between Scott Abel, Chris Watts, that era, and kind of grew up during that time, I guess.
Is there anything that sticks out to you memory-wise when you watched Liberty as a student, as a fan, not a player? Anything stick out?
I don't know. I know when you were younger and you were watching the guys grow up, and they were always, bigger and stronger and that kind of deal. It just felt like there was a lot more, and obviously, Liberty High School was a lot bigger population than they are now. But there was always a stigma about Liberty. The L on the helmet, was intimidating at the time when teams would come in and have to play. We had back-to-back 10-win seasons, and you kind of built that respect. And so when teams came in, you kind of had, a little bit of factor about you where they knew what they were getting into. And so, I don't know, just the respect that the L on the helmet and the jersey kind of brought to Liberty High School and Liberty football was something special.
How was it to play for Chris Watts?
Oh man, again, can't say enough good things about Coach, and he's been with me for a long time. I've been with him for a long time, and even since he's left and moved on to college and now back to the Seminole and different school, we still keep in contact, keep in communication, and would not be where I am as a coach or a person without Chris Watts.
How do you feel he was as a teacher of the game?
Again, that was one of my first experiences, again, high school-wise, high school football. And just we were a little bit different. We were option-style football, but he came in right after Scott Abel, who was another great coach and moved on and did big things. He's at Rice now. But I felt like early on, Coach had a lot of success. We ran a little bit different system. Was in the state championship his first year coaching, which was, again, when I came through. So I felt like Coach was putting us in the right spot, and we could trust what he was telling us because we had some success early on.
How different, I don't want to say tough, but how different was your life as a player under his system? Because it's not maybe 3-point stance, just block the guy in front of you, or is it?
Yeah, well, it was a whole lot more 3-point stance, hand in the dirt, flat back, and just grinding it out kind of deal. And, again, option ball, we'd be reading folks from time to time. So, it's a little bit different than where we're at now and what we're doing now at Jefferson Forest. But, no, it was still a physical style of football that we took pride in.
You know who a lot of people tell me is a good teacher of the game?
Who's that?
David Harlow.
Hey, that's what I hear.
What makes you a good teacher of the game in your eyes?
A lot of trial and error. Been doing this for a long time, and again, some of the best years I felt like we've done the best coaching job have been on the teams that haven't had the success in the win column, if that makes sense. Just trying to find different ways and new ways to get across to the kids and teach them the right way to do things. But I think building a relationship with the kids is something that I've prided myself on since I started in coaching. And again, relationships is why I got into the profession in the first place.
Does it make it easier in the fact of you're not like Larry Kidd and 100 years old type of thing? And I joke on Coach Kidd all the time, but you're not that older guy. You're a younger guy who maybe is more relatable to the kids because you know what you've been there more recently than other people have. Does that make it easier, you think?
Yeah, I mean, you say that. I've been in it for 21 years now, so I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of in the middle, kind of in between. But no, there's definitely a little bit difference between a younger coach and a guy that's seasoned, that's been around as Coach Kidd has. But I don't know. I feel like there's ways that you can relate to kids when you're younger and have been through it more recently, and you can have a little bit different conversation with them. You can have a little bit different relationship than maybe someone who is retired and out of the building. Like myself, Coach Cruz, Coach Ayers, a lot of the guys, we are in the building with those kids every day. So we see the same things they're seeing. We deal with a lot of the same things they're dealing with. And so it makes it more relatable in our conversations, in our day-to-day, if that makes sense.
When JT Cruz came to JF, you didn't really know him.
No, right? I knew him as a coordinator, as a coach when he was at Glass, but not personally.
How'd you get the call? How'd that come about that you're coaching at JF with a guy that you don't know?
Yeah, so we were going through a transition at Liberty, and when Watts left, we were kind of looking for what was next, and I got a call from Brian Burford, who had coached with us in the past at Liberty, and had a great relationship with him and mutual respect. And he reached out to JT and said, "Hey, we got a coach that's looking for a home, and one that I got a lot of respect for and think will do a good job." And so he got me and Cruz on a call. I think Cruz was on vacation that week, but I jumped on a phone call with him, hit it off, got out there the next week just to see what workouts were about, see what JF football was about. And again, met up with Coach Kidd, met up with a lot of the coaches that were on staff there. Scott Jennings, who's now the head coach.
And you didn't know Larry at this point either?
Not personally,
right.
No.
Right.
We, again, had run-ins with him in the past through different sports that I'd coached, but not on a personal level. And Scott Jennings was there, who's now the head coach at Liberty High School. And, we coached together at Liberty for a long time, coached at JF for a year or two before he left to go to Amherst. And so Jeremy Sink, Ben Martin, Brian Wilson, there were a lot of familiar faces at JF that made that an easy transition.
When did JT earn your trust?
About halfway through that first season, things, we're headed more in the right direction than the year before, I guess. But we sat down during that bye week and just had an honest conversation of, hey, what are we good at? Like, what is JF football? What are we going to be known for? And so just sitting down together and having that honest communication of, it's not him as a dictator telling us, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. It's, as a staff, whatever the best is for our program and for the team and for the kids, that's what we're going to roll with. And so just being able to sit down, not just me and him, but the whole staff, and just kind of have that conversation and get input from all of us, kind of earn some respect in my eyes, just that he's not, the guy that's going to come in and be over everything and, it's his way or no way. He puts trust in his staff and his coaches and kind of lets them coach.
Final thing, how important is it to be with a guy that lets you coach? Because you know what you're doing. Burf knows what he's doing. Kid knows what he's doing. How important do you think it is to be under a guy that, hey, I'm not going to micromanage this thing to the umpteenth degree?
Yeah, no doubt. And again, I've been under, not coaches, but managers, bosses that are that way, and that's no fun for anyone, right?
It's no confidence in yourself, probably, right, at most.
Yeah, no doubt. But I've been really fortunate, with Watts, Cruz, and the coaches that have been on staff wherever I've been, that have a lot of experience and that, again, do things the right way. But no, it's huge. And again, just knowing that we are all in it for the right reasons, and we all know I've been around for a while. Again, not as long as Coach Kidd or guys like that, but Coach Kidd's been there and done it. Burf has been there and done it, and so I think the experience and having done it for a long time, I think kind of builds that confidence of us with Coach Cruz and then the other coaches on our staff.